Today, I am going to start Unit 2 in cryptography and network security. One of the important topic in the Unit 2 is what are the mathematics of symmetric key cryptography. Mathematics of symmetric key cryptography. This is one of the part in Unit 2. Usually, why you should know the mathematics of the symmetric key cryptography? Actually, you should know some of the mathematical algebras to understand the algorithms, encryption, decryption algorithms. In cryptography and network security, we are using the different algorithms. To understand the algorithms, there you should know about some of the mathematical things. That's why this was included in your second unit. In the first unit also, you have completed some of the mathematic techniques. In the second unit, this is the about mathematics of symmetric key cryptography. What is the cryptography? Cryptography is nothing but a technique. It is the technique of securing the information and communications through the use of some codes. Cryptography is the technique of securing the information and communications through the use of some codes. That means already I explained in the previous classes what is what we are doing at the time of sending the plain text from sender to receiver. Here at the time at the sender side, we should convert the plain text into some ciphertext. That is called encryption. At the time of encryption, we are adding some of the key information to the plain text so that it converts into some of the secret code that is called ciphertext. To do this one, we need some algorithm. Those algorithms are called ciphers. Cipher is nothing but the algorithms which are used for encryption and decryptions. Cipher is the algorithm which is using for encrypting the data and decrypting the data. That is the cipher. So to implement or understanding the ciphers or algorithms, you should know some of the mathematics. So cryptography is a technique of securing information and communications through use of some codes, thus preventing. What is the main advantage of securing the information? To preventing the unauthorized access to information. The prefix script means hidden. Suffix graphy means writing. So this is the cryptography. Generally, there are three types of cryptography types. There are three types. The cryptography can be following three types: symmetric key cryptography, symmetric key cryptography. Second one is asymmetric key cryptography. Third one is the hash function. Symmetric key cryptography. Symmetric key cryptography means the sender and the receiver of the message use a single common key to encrypt and decrypt the messages. That means, what is the use of the key here? Key is nothing but some of the information which we are going to add along with the plain text to convert our plain text into some ciphertext. We are adding some secret information that is nothing but the key. That key information knows only by the sender and receiver only. These two parties know the key information. No third party knows the information. That's why here key is the important role in the cryptography. Here, if it is the symmetric key cryptography, we are using the same key, only the same key information at the sender side and the receiver side for encryption and decryption of the message. So here the information is the cipher information may be traveled in any channel, that may be secured or unsecured channel, but you should share the key information which is using for encryption and decryption purpose. You should share your key information through some secure channel. That is very, very important. So the key information which is useful to encrypt or decrypting the messages should be the same at sender side and receiver side. Both are using the same key information. If both parties are using the same key information, that cryptography is called symmetric key cryptography. So symmetric key cryptography means both the sender and receiver are using the same key for encryption decryption. The second one is the asymmetric key cryptography. Asymmetric key cryptography means here a pair of keys is used to encrypt and decrypt the encryption. Here a pair of keys is used to encrypt and decrypt the information. Generally, the first key is the public key and the second key information is called private key. So generally the public key is used for the encryption. That means the public key information is used by the sender for encrypting the data. That is the public key. Then the receiver, after receiving its ciphertext, if he wanted to convert into the plain text, he must decrypt that one. He can decrypt the ciphertext using some private key, not the public key. So he uses some another key that by using that key information only, the ciphertext be converted into the plain text. So here the sender is using some public key information for encrypting. The receiver side is using some private key information for decrypting the ciphertext. So here they are using the two key information, two keys, private key and public key. Here generally a private key information is open to all. Anyone can know the private key information, but private key which is useful for decrypting the ciphertext into plain text, that should be known by only the receiver. If any third party, if any unauthorized person knows the private key information, then he may access and he may decrypt our ciphertext. He may use or he may modify our ciphertext. So this is very important thing. Now, if the another person knows only the public information, there is no use to him to decrypt that ciphertext. So if he know only the private key, then only he decrypt the ciphertext. That's why you should keep you should keep the private key information securely and pass it to the receiver part. So here we are using the two keys. One is public key, another is private key. Public key is useful to encrypt the messages. The private key is useful to decrypt the messages. That's why, since it uses the two keys, a pair of keys, this type of cryptography is called asymmetric key cryptography. We also has another type of cryptography that is called hash function. What is the hash function? Here no need to use the some key information for encryption or decryption of the messages. Here, by using some hash functions, we can generate some code. By using, you know already what is hash function. Any hash function can generate some key values by using its hash function. So by using that key information, you can encrypt and decrypt the messages. Here it is not using any key. This if any cryptography or any person uses only the hash functions without using any key information, then that is called hash function cryptography. So there are three types: symmetric key cryptography, and asymmetric key cryptography, and hash functions. So this is about cryptography types. Now come to the what is the mathematics of symmetric key cryptography. Mathematics of symmetric key cryptography. Here you should know about algebraic structures. What are the algebra? This is the modern math, one of the part of the modern mathematics, algebraic structures. So every student should know the basics of the some of the algebraic structures, some of the mathematic concepts which are using for encrypting and decrypting algorithms. So algorithmic algebraic structures. Cryptography requires, yes, the cryptography requires the set of integers and some of the specific operations that are defined for the set of integers. So generally cryptography uses the set of integer values, and it uses some of the operations defined for those set of integers. So here we have the two things. Cryptography uses the set of integers and the set of operations to be performed on the integers. Now the combination of the set and the operations, combination of the set and the operations that are applied to the elements of the set is called an algebraic structure. So this is very, very important. Why you should know the algebraic structures? Generally in cryptography we are using ciphers. What is the cipher? Cipher is nothing but it is an algorithm. Cipher, don't be confused. Ciphers, what is cipher? Cipher is nothing but the algorithms which are using for encryption and decryptions. So the cipher algorithms are using some of the mathematics. So if you wanted to understand these ciphers, you should know, you should have the knowledge of the algebraic structures. This is algebraic structure is one of the part of the modern mathematics. What is the algebraic structure? Cryptography, generally cryptography at the time of encryption decryption uses some of the set of integers. It uses some set of integers and some of the operations on the set of integers. So the combination of the set of values and the operations is called an algebraic structure here. This is nothing but similar to the class definition in your Java. So class definition means which contains the data values and the methods, which the data values, the data members and the combination of data members and methods is called the class. And similarly here, algebraic structure means it is the, this is the combination of set of values and the operations to be performed on those set of values. The combination of elements, data and the operations is called the algebraic data. Generally in the cryptography, the algebraic structures are three types. One type of algebraic structure is the group, another one is the rings, and third one is the field. So there are three types of algebraic structures: groups, rings and field. Group is one structure, ring is another structure, field is another type of structure. So you should know about what are the group structures, what is the ring structure, what is the field structure. So you should know. Now come to the group. What is the group structure? Here the name contains the group. Group means, generally group means, it is similarly as per the algebraic structure definition, a group means it is a set of elements with a binary operation, with any one of the binary operation. A group of elements with a binary operation is called a group structure. That group structure, if that group structure satisfies four properties, if any structure with the set of elements with a binary operation, that is indicated with some dot here. The binary operation is nothing but, don't be confused, binary operation is nothing but, for example, addition operation, subtraction operation, multiplication operation, division operation on the integers is called binary operation. Addition is binary operation, subtracting is binary operation, multiplying one integer with another integer is the binary operation. So a group means a set of elements with a binary operation that satisfies four properties. Those properties also called axioms. So if any structure with a set of elements, if any structure contains set of elements with a binary operation which satisfies four properties, those four properties are given below. So the four properties is called a group. A group is a set of elements with a binary operation that satisfies four properties. Here the binary operation can be denoted here, the dot. Dot means it can be any binary operator. Don't be confused, this is the full stop or star, not like that. Here dot indicates any one of the binary operation. This can be an addition. You can put plus symbol, you can put minus symbol, you can put to the into symbol, or you can use the division symbol at the place of dot. So no problem. So this is general notation of the binary operation in the group. So a group G is a set of elements with a binary operation that satisfies four properties. What are those properties? Here given below. These are the four properties. Okay, this is the group. We also have another group called commutative group. It is also called as abelian group. This is one type of special group that is called commutative group, or also called as abelian group. What is the commutative group or abelian group? This is also a group in which the operator satisfies the four properties of the groups plus an extra property called commutative property. That means a commutative group should satisfy here five properties, four properties of the groups and one additional property called commutative property. So if any group satisfies these five properties, that group is called commutative group or abelian group. Now see what are those five properties. The first property is called closure property, associativity property, second one, third one, existence of identity property, existence of identity. Next, existence of inverse property, and another one is the commutative property. Commutative property. So what is the closure property? What is associativity? Existence of identity property, existence of inverse, commutative property. So if you see this figure shows the concept of the group. This figure shows the concept of group. So here what are the properties? There are five properties. Closure property, there is a closure property, associativity property, commutative property, existence of identity property, existence of inverse property. Here commutative property only it is related to the related to the commutative group only. So here these are the properties. Okay, these are the properties. And what is the group here? Group is a set which contains a set of elements. Here the set of elements can be any elements. Generally the elements can be the group of integers or the group of prime numbers, or the set can be the residue integers, or a set can be the any alphabets, whatever it may be. The set here which contains the group of elements and the operation to be performed on the set of values. So set group is the combination of the set and the operations. Set means the group of values which are going to use in the algorithms, and the operation means a binary operation. It can be an addition, subtraction, multiplication, division that is indicated with the dot here. So here a group supports five properties. Among the five properties, if this structure supports only the four properties, that is called a group. Along with the four, if it supports the commutative property, then that group is called commutative group. Now come to the closure property. What is the closure property? This very simple thing. If A and B are the elements of group, if some A and B are the elements of the group G, then assume some C is equal to A and some binary operation B. C is calculated. See here, C is another element. It is calculated by performing a certain operation on the A and B. Here the C is calculated here. This is one of the element. C is another element. If A and B are the elements of the group G, then if you calculate another element, that is the C, using A and B elements, suppose this C element is also the C element is also an element of the G, then that is the closure property. What is the closure property? Suppose assume A and B are the elements of the group G. Okay. By using A and B elements, by performing certain operation on the A and B elements, if you generate the third element C, and the value of that third element, the third element is an element in the G. If it is the element of the G, that means that the new element, whatever you have calculated, that exists in the G, then that is called closure property. The third one also within the group, the third element also within the group only, that is called closure property. So if A and B are the elements of the G, then some C is equal to A binary operation B is also an element of the G. That is the closure property. Very simple thing. Suppose the group contains the set of integers from 1 to 10. Set of integers from 1 to 10. Assume A is equal to 1, B is equal to 5. C is equal to A plus B means, here the binary operation is assumed as plus. C is equal to A plus B means 1 plus 5. The answer is 6. 6 is also one of the member of the group G. That's why that satisfies the closure property. That is the closure property. If you create a new element using the existing elements by performing one of the operation, if that new element exists in the same group, then that is called closure property. Then what is this next property? Associativity property. Associative property means if A, B and C are the elements, assume there are three elements which are A, B, C are in the group G, all elements are in the group G, then see here, A operation, B operation, C. That means assume it is the plus or any operation. A certain binary operation, B whole thing, some binary operation C is equal to A binary operation within the brackets B binary operation C. Suppose assume this is the plus. That means A plus B whole brackets plus C is equal to A plus B plus C, this brackets. So if it satisfies this property, if that group satisfies the given property, that is called associativity. What is associativity property? Associativity property means, for example, 10 plus 5 plus 2. It can be rewritten as 10 plus 5 plus 2. So both are same. Its answer is 5 plus 2 is 7, 10 plus 7, 17. Here also 10 plus 5 is 15 plus 2, 17. So if the elements are satisfying like that, that is called associativity property. Then existence of identity property. Existence of identity property means for all the elements A in G, for any element, for all the elements, assume that is A. Every element is assumed as A here. For all the elements A in the group G, there exists an element, some G, there exists an element E called the identity element, such that this E binary operation with A is equal to A binary operation E is equal to A. So if you perform any operation, if you perform a binary operation on the A of the group G, with certain element, that is called identity element. Okay, this is, if it is like this, E, first identity element E operation with A is equal to A followed by binary operation with identity element, that is equal to, finally you should get the same A element, This is nothing but, if it is a binary operation, for example, the identity element can be called as the 0 here. In the binary operation, an identity element is called 0. For example, 0 plus any element of the group G A, 0 plus A is equal to, or A plus 0 is equal to A. So if it satisfies like that, any element, if you add any element with 0, then you should get the same element A. If the elements are satisfying like that, that is called their existence of identity property satisfied. Suppose if it is the multiplication operation, the identity element E can be the 1. If it is the multiplication operation, the identity element is assumed as 1. So example, 1 into A is equal to, or A into 1 is equal to, what is the answer? A here only. So if you perform any binary operation with a certain identity element on any one of the element G, fine, if you get finally if you get the same element, then that is called existence of identity property. And what is the existence of the inverse property? Here also, for each element A in the group G, there exists an element, some A inverse. Assume A inverse is the inverse of A. A inverse is the inverse of the A element. Then it is called the inverse of A. Okay, such that if you contains an element A and the inverse of A element, such that A with some binary operation of its inverse, A inverse is equal to A inverse with some binary operation of A is equal to, finally you should get an identity element E here. You should get an identity element E here. If you get finally an identity element as the result after performing the binary operation on any element of G with its inverse element. For example, if A is the element of G, A inverse is its inverse of A. So if you perform the binary operation on the A and the A inverse, finally you should get an identity value as the result. For example, assume 3 is an element of the group G. If it is the integer set, what is the inverse of 3? Additive inverse, that is -3. If A is the 3, A inverse is -3 is equal to what? R is equal to 0. So 0 is the identity element. That's why if it satisfies okay. Now what is the fifth property? Commutative property. Commutative property means for all A and B in G, we have A into B is equal to B into A. A binary operation B is equal to B binary operation A. If it is the operation satisfies like this is called commutative property. Come to the examples of the binary group. Suppose we have the residue integers with addition operator. Then group G is denoted with like this. G is equal, group G is equal to Zn. What is the set here? Zn. Zn means set of residue integers. Set of residue integers. And plus is the addition operation. Here we consider the addition operation in the group. So we are considering the addition operation in the set of values, that is Zn. Then closure satisfied. So the result of adding two integers in Zn is another integer that is in Zn. So it satisfies the closure. Associativity means, for example, the result of 4 plus 3 plus 2 is same as to the 4 plus 3 plus 2. So it satisfies the associativity. Then commutative property means if we add 3 with the 4 or 4 with the 3, you get the same operation. Identity element means here the identity element in addition is 0. So 3 plus 0 is equal, 0 plus 3 is equal 3 only. You get the same element. Inverse of the element. Every element has an additive inverse. For example, 3 is the additive inverse of 3 is the 7 in the residue matrix of 10 modulo 10. Suppose if it is the Z10, that means the modulo is 10. Okay, it contains the residues from 0 to 9. 0 to 9. So what is the additive inverse of 3 in residue integers set? 3's inverse is 10 minus 3. It's 10 minus 3. It is the additive inverse of, that is the 7. 7 is the additive inverse of this 3 in modulo 10. In modulo. So 3 plus 7 is equal, 3 plus 7. 3 is the actual element. 7 is its additive inverse. So 3 plus 7 mod 10 is equal to 0. 0. 0 mod 10. That's why it contains the existence of inverse. Sense of inverse. Another example, if you consider the Zn star. Zn star means it is the residue matrix which contains only the multiplicative inverses. So here Zn star, G is equal to Zn star comma X. X is the multiplication operation. X is the multiplication operation. What is the group here? Zn star comma X is also an abelian group. It satisfies all the, it satisfies closure property, associative property, commutative property, everything. Here for the purpose of the identity element, here you can assume as the 1 here. Since it is the multiplication, here it is the 1 is the identity element. Example, 3 into 1 is equal to 1 into 3 is equal to 3. So 1 is the identity element. 1 is the identity element. So this is the example, second example. So here one of the group is G is equal to Zn, the plus operation. G is equal to Zn star comma multiplication operation. These are the two groups. These are the two groups.